As you know, people already entering New Zealand, and in particular those Kiwis returning home, do need to stay in either quarantine or managed isolation for a 14-day period when they enter the country. There is an opportunity for people to apply for exemptions for compassionate reasons, and that process does look at a number of exemptions, usually between 20 and 30 a day, requests for exemption. However, some of the additional measures we've put in place from today, everyone in managed isolation, as I have mentioned before, will be tested twice during that period, whether they have symptoms or not, around day 3 and around day 12 of their 14-day time in managed isolation. Anyone who is symptomatic as they come across the border is identified and goes into our quarantine facility and is tested anyway. However, that testing will be extended to everybody. Secondly, just to the exemption process, under Alert Level 2, there were 142 exemptions from managed isolation that were approved on compassionate grounds for people to attend funerals, tangihanga, or to visit a dying loved one. Now, as well as the 142 that were approved, there were 182 similar applications that were declined, usually where the applicants were not able to provide a workable plan for allowing an exemption to proceed safely. That changes from today. So from today, people in managed isolation will actually no longer be permitted to apply for exemptions to attend funerals and tangihanga. Let me go on. They will still be able to apply for compassionate leave to be with a small group of loved ones before or after a funeral or tangihanga, but not to attend the actual event. And I should say that people who have been in quarantine, that is, who have been symptomatic as they have come across the border, or who have developed symptoms during their 14-day isolation period and gone into the quarantine facility, those people have never been able to take up that compassionate leave exemption. We're making this change because someone who may have been exposed to COVID-19 overseas now poses a greater risk to those of us in New Zealand, given we are under Alert Level 1 with much greater interaction between people. And of course those physical distancing requirements have come off, and likewise there is no cap on the number of people who can be at these events. So there is still an opportunity for compassionate leave for a period to go and be with a dying loved one, or to grieve with other family members or friends, but just not to attend the actual funeral or tangihanga. This is, of course, unfortunate, but on balance we think this is a necessary trade-off as we relax our domestic restrictions. We all know New Zealanders have worked hard and sacrificed a great deal to get to where we are, and I've had a number of letters from people who, particularly during that lockdown period in Alert Level 4, were not able to spend time with dying relatives or friends, or to attend to funeral arrangements. And each of those stories is, in a way, heartbreaking. We know people have made sacrifices, and many people accepted, even if it was extremely difficult, accepted the need to do that so that we could be in the position we are today. So the information about this change to the opportunity, or in fact there being no opportunity now to attend a funeral or tangihanga when people return, that information is now available on our website, so people contemplating the move back or coming back for that purpose are aware of it before they leave where they happen to be. Returning to our numbers, today is obviously 18 days since the last new cases were reported in New Zealand, and again there are no active cases, so there will be no change to the number of confirmed cases we will be reporting to the WHO. Yesterday there were 1,053 tests processed at our laboratories. Again, the Monday number tends to be low, coming off the back of a weekend. The total number of tests to date is just under 296,000. Finally, I do want to reiterate the comments made by the Prime Minister yesterday about being prepared for additional cases in the future. We know this will happen. It may be that we detect a case at the border. We're now making sure that we detect those cases whether people have symptoms or not. We may even find cases still here in our community onshore. It's not guaranteed that there are not cases there. We should be prepared for that, and we are prepared with our ongoing testing, contact tracing, and arrangements for isolating people. So that's why we will continue the comprehensive testing regime of symptomatic people and, of course, that enhanced testing at the border. And finally, the New Zealand COVID Tracer app, which we are encouraging people to continue using. We're encouraging all venues to display the relevant QR code to assist people in scanning that QR code so they can keep an easy record of where they have been. We now have 535,000 registrations, so that's 13,000 more than yesterday, and I'm pleased to see people continue to take up that option.